بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما تعلمنا وزدنا بفضلك علما وتعليما إنك على كل شيء قدير. I want to just return, we spoke about these two hadiths last week, it's in the recording, but I want to say them again because they're really, really important. So the first one was عن أسامة بن زيد رضي الله عنهما عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال ما تركت بعد فتنة هي أضر على الرجال من النساء. So Osama ibn Zayd here said that the Prophet ﷺ said, I have not left after me a temptation, a fitna, that is more dangerous to men than women. Right? This is Sahih Bukhari and Muslim. And so why is this so important? Because we live in a world of images. Right? Let's go back 150 years. 150 years, 200 years, 300 years, 400 years, 500 years. The Prophet ﷺ, in his time, how many women are you going to see? How many men are you going to see? How many images are you going to see? Right? What kind of images are you going to see? So I mean, imagine, let's say as bad as it could possibly get. Right? Somebody saw people doing something sexual. Like that's as bad as how many people could you see in one go? Somebody saw, for example, a Roman statue of a woman or a man, right? Like how many are you going to see? Whereas we live in a world where this is just normal, right? This is just normal. This is how we function, right? Instagram, internet, TV, advertisements. Like that's how we buy and sell things, right? We use images of the opposite sex to buy and sell things. That's how it is, right? There's a guy, he has a cool car, but there's a woman in the car. That means you will be cool and you will have a woman like this in your life if you buy this car. That's normal advertisement, right? Here's let's forget non-Muslims, Muslims, right? It's like I'm gonna have a picture of a woman, hijab like this. What kind of woman are you gonna put there? So this is unbelievably important, unbelievably important. And the Prophet said, "There's no," so he's saying more than wealth, more than I don't know what, right? More than wealth, more than peer pressure, more than drugs, more than this, more than that. He's saying the opposite sex, right? So you can say vice versa, worse for men than women, and worse, more harmful, adar. There's more harm in it, more dangerous than women and than women and men. So people who are lackadaisical and relax about gender interactions, or they say it's not an issue. It is an issue. It is an issue. How do we know the Prophet said it? How do we know that the Prophet said it? Right? So we have to be very, very careful and very, very honest and frank about it. This is a real issue. Take the means, right? Do you have a choice when you go into the workplace? Do you have a choice? No, you don't. You go to shop? No, you don't. You don't have a choice. But you have to be very selective of the environment you go into, and then what? Um, you know, what you see. So, is there such thing as image block? Yes. Is there such thing as editing the stimulus that you have? You chose to go on that website. You chose to type in those words, right? All of us, we should all know, if you type in certain words, you're going to see certain things. That's obvious. That's obvious, right? You know what you're going to see if you type in a certain word, even if what you're typing is not haram. You type in, for example, exercise. What are you going to see? Like, you guaranteed, as a man, if you type in exercise on an internet, what are you going to see? We all know. Okay, as a woman, what are you going to see? We all know. Because they don't put people who are ugly and overweight to sell a product. They don't do that. That's not how it works. So we have to be really, really careful because the Prophet said there is nothing worse, nothing more harmful than this. Nothing, right? He didn't say alcohol. It didn't say, uh, I don't know. But this is this big thing. It's a huge thing. It's a huge thing, and it's not a small thing at all. So you have to be very, very cognizant of it in terms of gender interaction, in terms of how we dress and how we interact with the opposite sex, and checking our motives, right? Very, very normal thing. Normal doesn't make it halal, is how people behave around the opposite sex. Suddenly they change. Suddenly, the imam, his recital is, he just realized as he was walking to the mosque that somebody was walking to the mosque too. His qira'ah is different, very normal, very haram, right? The way she talks, given that somebody's in her house, she's not even visible. Very normal, very haram. These are normal behavior, but it's very haram. Right? So we have to be very aware of these things. Say, subhanallah, right? The Prophet ﷺ, he's rahmatan lil alameen, he's sent to me and to you as a mercy to help you and me. And he said these words. And from Abdullah ibn Umar, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, "Man tashabbaha biqawmin fahuwa minhum." Whoever mimics the people, the way you live your life, the way I live my life, the way I carry myself, the way I dress, talk, the way I live financially, the way I organize things, right? It's very nice to be accepted. We, by nature, we are social people, right? We fit in with the flock. We do what everybody else does. That's by nature. Human beings are like that, right? We're not a lone wolf by yourself in the middle of nowhere. It's not normal. You do what everybody else does, right? Everybody stands up, you stand up. Everybody sits down. That's this is what happens. And so we have to be very, very careful when we're mimicking people in the wrong, right? Everybody else, there's a normal thing. You go to work, buy a coffee for $5. What's normal, right? Is that Islamic to spend $5 on a coffee? Did you need to do that? Yeah, everyone's doing it. Everybody spends this kind of money on cars. Okay, well, is that Islamic? Everybody buys a house like this. Oh, is that Islamic? Right? So there's nothing wrong with copying people in, let's say, technology and copying, but you say your lifestyle, my lifestyle, right? And there's an interesting version of this hadith that it adds a similar kind of thing. So, I'm not sure if it's a really a version, but a similar hadith anyway. That says the worst men are those men who mimic women, and the worst women are those who mimic men. And the best youth are those who mimic the elderly, and the worst elderly are those who mimic the young. So this is another thing, right? And it ties to this discussion, right? It ties to this discussion, right? There are men, for example, who mimic the youth, right? They dress like youth. Like, why are you doing that? Right? So we live in a culture in the West where being old is like, oh, it's old, like it's bad, right? And then unfortunately, this happens with women. It's like, sister, how old are you? Okay. I'm not saying you're ugly, and I'm not saying you're unattractive, but you are old. So why are you trying to dress like a 16-year-old? Why are you trying to look like you're 20 years younger than yourself? Oh, because this is the currency. This is the social currency. We look like this. We look like this. Sister, accept your age. It's okay. It's not a problem, right? Like, I'm 36. I know that I'm on the other edge of the curve. I'm feeling it. Like there's the age of 15 to 35, and then the downward slope. It's okay to age gracefully. It's okay to age gracefully. The problem is that we are sold that your value in society is your looks. So even if you're not trying to show off to another male, trying to show off to another female, I have to look young. No, you have to be healthy. You have to be healthy and you have to look nice for your husband as best as you can. You have to be healthy. So don't care about your weight. Care about your amana. You are a slave of Allah. Your body is not yours. Look after your body. Don't care about your weight, what you look like compared to this person. I care about your health. That Allah SWT is going to ask you, why did you kill yourself? By not caring about your work, about not caring about your diet, or not caring about your exercise. You need to get regular exercise. You need to do the things. So don't care about looking 16. This is very sad that you see women who's like, "Hey, sister, you're getting old, and like, why are you dressing like that? Why do you look like that?" Right? It's just low, okay? Because the currency, what you've been sold is your value, is your sex appeal. That's your value. Your value in other people's eyes is your sex appeal. It's like, that's not our value. Your value is your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So keep that for your husband. Look as nice as you can for your husband, right? And look after your health. But don't try and be somebody who's mimicking younger people, right? Because the best young people are those who mimic the elderly. And the best of the elder people and the worst of the elder people try and mimic the young. And don't try and be this and try and be that. Be a slave of Allah. And alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, age gracefully. It's normal to not look your best anymore. That's fine. We're all going to be in the grave tomorrow, and you're not going to look very nice in the grave, right? Except we're getting older, it's fine, and that's it, and move on. And look as nice as you can for your husband, and look at and fear Allah as much as you can concerning your health, and that's it. Don't worry about anything else, right? Don't worry about anything else, right? So I wanted to talk about these two things, and again, I'm not, so these are very, very important things. May Allah always open our eyes to this, right? We shouldn't be impractical. Oh, I can't talk to a female. I can't do this. I can't do that. But we really have to have these in our minds. Okay. So, inshallah, we will finish today. Maybe finish today or next week. So it says asceticism. This is a difficult translation for zuhud. Zuhud means I don't care. I'm not interested. Right? Feminine zahid means a price that you wouldn't. It's not anything. 1 cent. If you lost 1 cent, would you turn around and pick it up? No. Don't worry about it. Right? So that's zuhud. Like, I honestly don't care. Right? Doesn't matter. The dunya, I don't care about it. That's called zuhud. So like I'm just done with it. Like I really don't care about it. I care about it because I can use it for ibadah, but in itself, I really don't care. That's the dunya. I don't care. That's what zuhud means. Asceticism. It's translated like this, but asceticism is it's a way of life. It's a whole thing. It carries a whole sorts of things, but it means zuhud, right? And riqaq is softening the heart, enabling you to change. Like, you know what? Let's just let go. Right? Let's just focus on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. So important thing, zuhud does not mean callousness, right? So zuhud in the dunya, I don't care, mean I don't care about the people in my life, right? That's wrong. That doesn't mean that. So it's obligatory to have rahmah, right? You have to care about other people. Like it hurts me, whatever hurts that person, whether I like that person or not, it hurts me, right? That's the obligation, right? Like, I don't care about the person anymore. Forget them. That's wrong. Rather, it's I care about them. I can't help them anymore, for example, or I care about them, but that's all I can do, right? So we have to feel pain for other people's pain. So you say, oh, I have zuhud in the dunya. I don't care about people. No, that's incorrect. Zuhud means I don't care about the dunya as the dunya. I don't care about money. I don't care about age. I don't care about what sickness I have. I don't care about things work out, they don't work out. It doesn't affect me. I just care, is Allah happy with me or is Allah not happy with me? That's all I'm interested in. That's all I'm interested in. So وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال يقول الله ابن آدم تفرغ لعبادتي أملأ صدرك غنى وأسد فقرك وإلا تفعل ملأت صدرك شغلا ولم أسد فقرك. And this is a super unbelievably important hadith. So that Abu Hurairah narrates, the Prophet said, O son of Adam, right? O human being, free yourself up for my worship. Meaning dedicate 120%. What am I doing right now? What has this got to do with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Whether it's washing up, whether it's cleaning the car, whether it's driving the commute that 1.5 hour to work, whether it is doing homework, whatever it is, stop. Why are you doing that? How is this something that Allah likes? If it's not something that Allah loves, don't bother doing it. Total waste of time. Just throw it out of your life. Tafarragh, make faragh, empty out your life. You make your life like a trash can, you throw everything else out that's not connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If this isn't connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, throw it out of your life. Right? This doesn't mean you sit and do Quran all day. This doesn't mean that you don't do exercise. This doesn't mean you don't do homework. This doesn't mean you don't spend time with other people. But you say, if it doesn't have anything to do with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I don't need it. Just throw it out of your life. Right? And it means that any goal in your life, you throw it out and you change it with an Allah-centric goal. So in your relationships, for example, oh, but I care about this person. Why do you care about this person? Well, because, I care about them. No, turn it into your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your relationship with your child, turn it into a relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your relationship with your husband, with your wife, turn it into a relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your relationship with your manager, with your employees, with people above you or below you, the person in the street, turn it into a relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your relationship with the policeman. I don't I'm not scared of a policeman, I'm not trying to impress a policeman, I'm not trying to do anything. It's my relationship with Allah, right? Turn every single thing into ibadah, right? That's what the hadith says. Turn every single thing into ibadah. If you don't, it says, what will happen then? أَمْلَأْ صَدْرَكَ غِنًى, I will fill your life with wealth. Be it physically, in terms of turn your work into worship, and I will give you enough money that you need. Turn your relationships into relationships with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I'll make it all work out. It will all make sense, right? It doesn't mean you're not going to have an argument, but it means the argument will be Allah-centric and it will come out in the right way. It doesn't mean everyone's going to like you, but it means that you will be happy with them not liking you, and it's all fine. It all makes sense. It's all nurani. It's all full of light, right? وَأَسُدْ فَقْرَكَ, and that need, that poverty you have, be it physical poverty, emotional poverty, sickness, I will fill it in and make it work out. Don't worry about it. I'll either make it work out physically, it's all good, or it will happen in a way that you're totally happy with it. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, I turned my fear that I have of stage 4 cancer into my utter poverty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and my coming to Him, and I'm fantastic. I can never be happier. Bro, you've got 2-3 months maximum to live, 100% happy, right? As one cancer patient told me, نحن غرقاء في نعم الله نعمة الله. We are drowning Allah's blessings. That's his expression, drowning Allah's blessings. Subhanallah. Someone who's dying of cancer, right? Somebody who's in prison for 45 years for a crime he didn't commit, 100% happy. Why? 100% haven't, maybe never had a chance to get married, maybe got married, never seen his wife for 45 years, kids 45 years, doesn't matter. Every single time he tries to get out of prison, they don't let him. 45 years for a crime he didn't commit. 100% positive and happy. Why? Because he turned it into his relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as opposed to trying to deal with it as a grudge, as a problem, as a whatever it is. وَإِلَّا تَفْعَلْ, if you don't do that, if you don't turn your work into worship, into your relationships, then I will مَلَأْتَ صَدْرَكَ شُغْلًا, I'm going to busy your life. Right? As Wittgenstein said, hell is not other people. Hell is yourself. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, oh, okay, you don't want to turn your relationships into relationships with me. You want to deal with people by yourself. Okay, go ahead. Enjoy the hell that you yourself have created. The worry that you have for your kids, the pain that you have with your spouse, the discontentment with work, the whatever it is, right? Your own problem with memorizing the Quran, right? Someone's trying to memorize Quran. Ah, this is so annoying. I can't get this ayah, I can't get this ayah, I can't get that. No, 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 no. Turn it into ibadah. I'm repeating this verse 50,000 times and I still can't get it. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I'm very happy with the weakness Allah has given me and the strength that He's given. I'm very happy with the double reward that I'm going to get. Very, very happy. As opposed to, I'm stressed and I'm annoying. I can't get this. Okay? So if you don't turn it into ibadah, right, you're going to, what's it called? You're going to, إِلَّا تَفْعَلْ مَلَأْتُ صَدْرَكَ شُغْلًا وَلَمْ أَسُدَّ فَقْرَكَ. Okay? Then I will not free of your need. Let me deal with it. I want to deal with it. Okay, fine. It's up to you, but you're gonna have to deal with it. Okay, give me one second. So unbelievably important hadith, right? And where do we see this every single day? إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ. We only worship you. One goal, one fear, one concern, one hope, one aspiration, one love. Every single thing, right? Turn it into this thing, right? Anything that you can't turn into your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, throw it out the window. Just a waste of time. Everything that you have to do, turn it into your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Right now, for example, I'm sitting on a chair. This chair, I don't know what's wrong with this chair, but this chair is a bit not good for me posture-wise. So I have a pain in my back. Oh, so should I deal with it by myself or should I deal with it through Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So I'm going to sit up fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I'm looking after my body properly. Pain, turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your pain. Don't turn to anybody else, right? Waki' ibn Jarrah, he said, I think it was either him or quoting one of the Salaf, he said, whoever complains you have a problem, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent you that problem. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent you the problem. He says, I want you to funnel that problem through me. Don't funnel it through somebody else. So what did you do? You turned to somebody else. So like, and you complain to somebody else or whatever it is, or you complain to yourself, complain to Allah. Say, well, Allah, my back hurts. So fear Allah concerning the right that Allah has over you. Turn to Allah, Allah, make my back better, right? As opposed to being what? Malaktu sadraka shughlan. You dealt with it by yourself. Okay, deal with it by yourself. And your life's just going to be distractions and pains and whatever. So the hell that we create for ourselves is the punishment for creating the hell that we create for ourselves. The difficulty, anxiety, worry, confusion, things not making sense. That's the punishment for not turning to Allah is not being with Allah. And the reward for turning to Allah is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taking all your problems. So what does it mean when you say, I'm a slave of Allah? It means you don't have to pay for anything, right? Somebody comes up to you, you're a slave, like, oh, you have to pay rent? No, my master will pay for it. I don't have to worry about it. It means don't worry about it. It means your status is that of your master. Who's your master? Allah. Don't worry about it. It means the one who's got you back is Allah. Don't worry about it. So this is an unbelievably important hadith, right? Fundamentally change your whole life. Funnel every single thing with your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And physically, you have to turn away. I'll give you an example, right? Who knows who's listening to this recording now and when it's being recorded? Maybe it's 20 years in the future, right? An annoying cat. I give two scenarios. Annoying cat meowing at the door. Turn it into, Ya Allah, I fear you, and please, for the fact that I relieve this cat, or the cat wants to get out and go to the bathroom. I relieve this cat of that that thing, Ya Allah, please forgive me. So you funneled a cat at the door into your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in one way or the other. Hamburger. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Allah has fed me and made other people full. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I get to enjoy this really nice thing that I really, really like. Your heart is you funneled the pleasure from dunya into your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? Your kids, right? You see your kid and you're like, oh, I love my kids. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. What a blessing it is to have kids. So you love your kids or do you love Allah? No, I love Allah. Change that love. Turn it from the child into your love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a different thing. Right? In which case, when this child dies in jihad, inshallah, may Allah give all our children shahada in the right. We hope for that. You're very happy. You're very happy because you love Allah and your love for your children was love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as opposed to love for the child. Right? You're blocked. Now you're worrying about the child and you're fretting about the child and this and that. Why would you do that? If Allah is happy with your child, if Allah is a means for you to be happy, if your child is a means for Allah to be happy with you, that's all. In which case you're more interested in their praying, in their akhlaq, than you are in their health, for example. Right? It doesn't matter if your child dies at 14 if they were righteous. It does matter if your child dies after having a successful career and a happy family and they're not righteous. They don't, it's like, how did that even fit into your life? Right? They're busy with Allah, but they don't have time for you because they're doing some huge important thing. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, no problem there. Because your relationship with them is one, and that's for example, talking about my father specifically, for example. My father passed away in November. My relationship with my father was 90% Allah, 10% daddy. So what do I miss from my dad? I miss his hands. I miss my dad's hands. Right? That's about it. It's like little things you miss about people. It's physical things about them, right? But otherwise hasn't gone. Because our relationship was a divine, religious relationship. So he hasn't gone. He's going to tell me, sit up, boo, right? Sit up. Look after yourself. Focus in prayer. He's going to tell me this. He's going to say exactly what have I been telling you your whole life, right? This. So now it hasn't gone. And so the poverty of losing a loved one is not there, right? Can we see that, right? Make your relationship a religious relationship, and it's not a problem. Your relationship with your spouse, or the lack thereof. Some people can't get married. It's very hard. They can't get married, period. Or they get married, they can't have kids. The lack of children. Make that as part of your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then you don't feel that impoverished. Otherwise, you feel a heart will be filled with poverty, even if you have the whole world. May Allah forgive us all. وعن ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال استغنوا عن الناس ولو بشوص السواك. The Prophet ﷺ said, oh, it's kind of twisted here. He said, be independent from people, even if it's by a washing wood. Right? بشوص السواك. I'm not sure if this is a Allahu Alam. That's a proper translation of. But the point is, we are supposed to be free of need of people. How can you literally be free of other people? Right? So free of need is something in the heart. So for example, somebody pays you, they don't pay you. Right? You are totally broke. You really need the job. You really need to borrow some money. And your hope is that somebody will say yes. Your hope is that somebody will employ you. Wrong. You really need a job, meaning you fear Allah. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destines, you're not going to get any work. But when you see, for example, that email comes in, maybe I'll be accepted. Maybe this, maybe that. That's a problem. As opposed to the slave of Allah, I am the slave of Allah. I don't need anybody. In my heart does not change when I have or when I don't have. I'm with Allah. Practically, you can go and ask somebody for a job, not ask them for a job, ask them to borrow money, not ask to borrow money, go and beg in a certain situation. You don't have to beg, but you can go and beg in a situation. But there's the begging of, please let my child through this border. Okay, if you won't let me through, he's 5, please let him through. What harm is he going to do? You're a refugee, you're in a situation, no one's eating, just let my child come through, right? There's a big difference between when you look at that person with need and when you take that person, this person is just a puppet in Allah's hands. And you're not scared of that person, you don't have any hopes in that person. There's a huge difference, right? And how it is practical to us in the West, we have a very, very awkward predicament where we live in the West, which is nobody can be free of need. So what kind of person doesn't need, for example, pays for their own medical bills in cash? Nobody. Who drives on their own roads? Nobody. So you are continually being given to by somebody else, and particularly a non-Muslim, which is not a noble thing to do at all. Right? It's not a noble thing to be at all. So theoretically, right, it should be like this. I'm a Muslim. I have my own hospital. I pay for my own medical bills. I pay for my own school. I pay for my own roads. Nobody pays anything for me. Right? You want to charge me tax on, I don't know, military or something, I don't know, whatever is, I'm in the giving situation, not the taking situation. So it's very difficult, awkward situation where we're in, where you can't really have the upper hand at all financially. Like you can't really be in a situation where I have all my own things and I'm in a position to give and not receive. Because how much money would you have to pay for your own medical bills, to pay for your own roads, to pay for your own, I don't know what, all these public services that are given to you for free, right? And so it's an awkward situation, right? It's an awkward situation. Yes, obviously people pay tax, but do you pay tax really the same that you receive? Allahu Alam, right? And so it's an awkward situation. It's not noble. The way, the way of the believer is that I don't rely on anybody else, right? If this is my salary, I don't need anything else, right? If I can't afford to, would you imagine, for example, an Ottoman Turk saying, I can't afford a medical operation, I'm going to go to a non-Muslim, ask him for donations, right? That's not really something they would do. Khalid ibn Walid would go back to Mecca and say, oh, I can't afford some bread. Can you please, non-Muslims, mushrikeen that I'm fighting against, can you please pay? So no, I have that dignity that I don't need to receive, right? So the situation we're in is kind of, it's not socialist, but it's kind of a bit like that. And so it's not ideal. So the default is you have your own needs, work hard, and have your own needs. If you have to work 3 jobs, work 3 jobs. وعن أبي سعيد الخدري رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال إن الدنيا حلوة خضرة وإن الله مستخلفكم فيها فينظر not ينظر كيف تعملون. So the Prophet ﷺ said, truly the world, money, fame, achievement, looks, power, all of these things, it's sweet and green like grass that a cow or sheep wants to eat from. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give it to you. He's going to give it to you, then give it to somebody else, and give it to somebody else. And He is carefully observing how you're going to act. Are you going to be attached to it, or are you going to use it as a means? So the dunya is a means. Money, power, achievement, all these things are a means. Whenever you trained it as an end, you lose the game. Right? The dunya is exactly like the 2 angels that were sent with magic. إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ فِتْنَةٌ فَلَا تَكْفُرْ. We are just a test. Grades, achievement, power, status is all speaking at you and saying, we are just a test. Don't turn away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? And then it's up to us. Do we turn to it, or do we turn away from it? May Allah forgive us. So even if you don't have it, it's a test. So wanting money is a test, even if you don't have it. Wanting power, if only. Wanting looks, wanting achievement. I wish I could get the way that they've achieved. Look at what they've achieved, right? I wish my kids were like their kids, right? Wanting what somebody else. So whether you have it, being proud about it and valuing it, or even just valuing it and looking up to it, this is all dunya, hubbad dunya, right? As opposed to, I'm just interested in using what I have to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So وعن ابن عمر رضي الله عنهما قال أخذ رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بمنكبي أو بمنكبي فقال كن في الدنيا كأنك غريب أو عابر سبيل. The Prophet ﷺ came to me and he took hold of my shoulders, obviously something important. He said, be in this world as if you're a stranger. Don't be part of this thing. It's not relevant. Take what is relevant. You're just a stranger or somebody passing by. Take what you need, leave what doesn't concern you. Right? It doesn't mean being cold, doesn't mean being careless, but it does mean 99% of what you get involved in is not relevant. Right? Your husband bought the wrong cheese. Doesn't matter. I don't really care. Really not relevant. Your wife forgot to turn the kettle on. Doesn't matter. I'm just passing by. I'm only here for a short time. I don't care about the color of the wall. I don't care about anything. I'm just here to get good deeds and leave. Anything that helps me get good deeds, I'm interested. Otherwise, not relevant. Somebody wants to insult me, I really don't care. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Super irrelevant. Somebody said this, they said that. Somebody said, it's like, it really doesn't matter. Right? Imagine if you're just about to step on the plane and somebody says, by the way, the person who picked up your bags 1 hour ago when you came to the airport doesn't like you. Like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Right? 90% of politics doesn't matter to you. Whatever is relevant to you, you're gonna make a decision on. Yeah. Otherwise, you don't need to. Totally irrelevant. So again, the phone, the internet, 99% of these things, throw it out the window. We don't need it at all. وعن أبي حميد دين الساعدي رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال أجملوا في طلب الدنيا فإن كلا ميسر لما كتب له منها. So the Abu Humayd al-Sa'idi said, the Prophet said, beautify, it's not really the right translation, but do it in a very unspecific way. Right? Ijmalan means in a general as opposed to specific. Tafsil means specific. Ijmal means generic, general. Right? Seek it in a very gentle and unspecific way. Right? In the livelihood, because everybody is decreed for what they're going to obtain. So, where should I live? What kind of job should I do? What exact thing should I do? Just say, Ya Allah, give me al-kafaf, give me what I need to do what I need to do. If this job works out, alhamdulillah. If that job works out, alhamdulillah. Right? As opposed to, I have to have this degree, and I have to do this thing, and I have to live in a house like this, and the dress has to be exactly like this. You wear a nice dress, that's all. It's nice, good enough, that'll do. You need some caffeine? Oh yeah, here's some caffeine. Well, it has to be like this. No, it doesn't have to be like this. The food has to be like this. No, it doesn't have to be like that, right? Oh, man, it's the wrong green. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That doesn't, it's not, no, it's just a tool. Any car that gets you from A to B, any job that gets you from A to B, any person in your life that gets you from A to B, anything, it's okay, as long as it gets you from A to B, right? So don't be, has to be like this, has to be like that, right? Uh, I have no job. I need to find work. Okay, work harder. Okay, but to what extent, right? Just take the means as if you're a dead person. Okay, night and day. No, not night and day, but maybe 16 hours a day. I'm looking for a job and I'm applying here and here and here. 16 hours is good. 24 hours, no. Right? I need to get out of debt. Okay, you're working overtime, fine. 12 hours. 13 hours, probably going to kill yourself. Right? 12 hours, that's about as much as a person can do. Can't really work more than 12 hours a day. That's pretty crazy. Right? So know that you're a dead man. Know that it doesn't matter. And you're just doing it because that's what Allah asked you to do. Right? Like looking for wudu. So looking for work and looking for happiness in life in the dunya is like looking for wudu, water. Oh, we looked for this river, couldn't find it there, looked there. Okay, make tayammum, big deal. It's just a means, right? It's just a means. So you look here, you look there, alhamdulillah, right? And so whenever you put your happiness in one specific thing, I need to get to this college, I need to marry this person, I need to be at that time at this thing. I have to finish when you like specifics, like that's love of the dunya, right? When you get to the specifics, the cake has to be like this. No, it doesn't have to be like that. So anything that will get by, anything will get you by, it doesn't matter, right? Don't worry about it. You know, as my mom said, Fareed, you can do any job you want. Doesn't matter. She didn't say you have to be this, you have to be that. What did my dad tell me? He said, Fareed, you can do whatever you want, get any grade you want, but you're a clever kid, okay? And if you don't get A's, then you haven't used the blessing that Allah has given you. You're capable of getting A's, so get A's because you're not using the blessing that Allah has given you. I don't care about A's, but I care that Allah giving you something, use it. Don't just throw it away. Why would you do that? Right? You have some eggs. Oh, I don't care about eggs. Well, use them. Give them to somebody else and make a nice omelette. But why throw them on the floor? Why would you do that? Right? That's not using Allah's blessing. There's a big difference between you have to succeed in the dunya. You have to get this job. You have to, like, who cares? Anything that gets by, right? Anything that pays the bills is fine. And Anas said, radiallahu anhu, same thing in the deen. Remember the Sheikh, he said recently, he was talking about people who are very, what's it called, aggressive in their learning of sacred knowledge. They have to memorize this text now and have to study this text now and then this thing. It's like, why are you like that? If you are doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you are just fulfilling your obligation to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to remove ignorance from yourself, why are you running around? The fact that you're running around is there is a shahwa, there's this lust. I have to achieve. I have to become a sheikh. I have to be like that person. Yeah, you can't memorize the ayah, that's fine. Not a problem that you have the inability to memorize the ayah. Just keep reciting. Yeah, but I'm so annoyed. Why are you annoyed if Allah's giving you the ajr? Why are you annoyed that if you study that fiqh text 50,000 times, you still don't understand it? Doesn't matter. You're still doing what Allah has asked you to do. Yeah, but I don't know as much as so and so. Why do you care about the results? Results are not part of your amal. Results are not part of what Allah is going to give you as a reward. You're interested in the amal, in the deeds. So whatever the deeds are, doesn't matter. You have to repeat the ayah 1,000 times, repeat it 1,000 times. It's so annoying that someone else can memorize it in that time and I can't. Why is that annoying? It's annoying because you're looking at it as dunya. That's why. But don't worry about the specifics. How long it takes, where exactly, whatever gets you by. That's all that's interested. Marriage, I have to marry so and so. My happiness is pinned to so and so. Is so and so your God? No. So and so is not your God. What would happen if so and so divorced me? My life would be over. Who's in control of your life? Allah or that person? So I'm going to do my best. Look for somebody good to get married to. Inshallah, I'll stay married to that person. And if Allah wills, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. I didn't marry that person. I just did ibadah. I'm just doing ibadah, right? And so turning away from specifics is very important when they're not useful to Allah's worship. وعن أنس رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال لو كان لابن آدم واديان من مال لابتغى ثالثا ولا يملأ جوف ابن آدم إلا التراب ويتوب الله على من تاب. Amazing hadith. The son of Adam, so if he doesn't do the beginning, right? If he doesn't, the son of Adam, if he doesn't do this hadith, what happens to him? Okay? He says, if the son of Adam owned two valleys of wealth, right? So mal in Arabic mean cattle, right? Another version of hadith says dhahab, gold. So it's supposedly wealth, right? So imagine you owned a whole county of houses. He would certainly seek a third. That's what we see with businessmen. Once you're a millionaire, you want to become a billionaire. Once you're a billionaire, you want to become a trillionaire, right? It doesn't stop. It doesn't actually work. It's like drinking salt water. It doesn't stop. So when you're seeking the dunya, it never satisfies you. And the stomach of the son of Adam, he keeps trying to fulfill his lust for wealth, power, whatever it is, food, right? It's never fulfilled, and all he gets is death. He's going to be dead in the grave, and his body is going to decay. Right? So it's a really good thing to look at about your wealth, about your looks. Look in the mirror like, oh, I don't like this, I do like this. Tomorrow you're going to be rotting in a grave, and you're going to be a ugly skeleton for most of your existence, for more time than you are alive, probably. So why do you care about the way you look? Like that's not a thing. You should thank Allah for anything that's nice in the way you look, and that's all. And use any of it in a way that pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But otherwise, like I really don't care. Right? That's not even you. The person in the mirror is not you. The person, you are how you stand before Allah. You are your focus in prayer. You are your love of Allah. You is your fear of Allah. You are the right decisions you made or the wrong decisions you made. That's not you. So don't look in the mirror like, oh, it's like this, it's like that. Right? So whenever you are happy, you're impressed, right? You can thank Allah, but when you're personally impressed or personally sad, it's called dunya. Right? May Allah forgive us. And so this is the dunya. Don't compete with people in the dunya. And most people care about the dunya and they're crazy. So that's why we have to get off the phone and get off TV because the TV is there to make you love the dunya. That's the goal. TV is there to make you love the dunya and to trick you into thinking the dunya is worth anything, but it's not. وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال تعس عبد الدينار والدرهم والقطيفة والخميصة إن أعطي رضي وإن لم يعطي لم يرضى. So it said, wretched is the slave of wealth, right? The slave of the dinar and the dirham. Plush clothes and shirts, right? If he's given, he's pleased. If he's not, right? So how does the believer look at what clothes, for example, is they love clothes because it's a sign of Allah's blessings. So whether they have it or somebody else has it, it's the same. They're very happy they see really nice clothes. They're happy that they have it, or that somebody else has it. It's the same. They're just happy that Allah has created such a beautiful thing. Like it's really nice clothes. It's a really nice pair of shoes. I really like them. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I remember Allah's beauty in it, and I'm happy that I wear it or somebody else, as opposed to I have to wear them. Oh, that's called dunya now. Right? They see money. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Allah provided. Allah's razaq. Allahu Akbar. Whether I have it or somebody else, it doesn't matter. As opposed to I have to have it. Now it's changed to dunya. Right? If he's given, he's pleased. If he's not given, he's not pleased. So don't be a slave of people. Don't be a slave of food. Don't be a slave of success. Don't be a slave of looks. Don't be a slave of Allah and nothing. You just on a business class ticket to happiness non-stop. وعن كعب بن عياض رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال إن لكل أمة فتنة وفتنة أمتي المال. He said truly every ummah has a temptation and the temptation of my ummah is in wealth. So don't sit with people who care about wealth. Don't hang out with those people. Don't sit with them online. Don't sit with them on Instagram. Don't sit with them on YouTube. Don't sit with 99% of people because 99% of people, that's what they talk about. Ask kids at school, what do you want to do when you grow up? I want to be a doctor. Why? Because you make money. Right? That's a disgusting thing to say. It's not their fault, but it comes from their parents. That's like saying, I want to memorize the Quran so that I get a big check in Ramadan. Right? That doesn't make any sense. You want to memorize the Quran so that in Ramadan I get a big check from this masjid for leading prayer. SubhanAllah, that's pretty disturbing. So you want to make money out of people's sicknesses? That's disturbing. That doesn't make any sense. There's nothing wrong with having a solid income. for the sake of Allah. Nothing wrong curing people, but that mentality, right? And so when you talk to people about money, they look at you in a certain way based on money, and they talk about money and they talk about income, you know that they're insane, right? And 99% of people, totally insane, don't hang out with them. Be polite and nice and compassionate and make dua for them. Poor people, they are in reality poor, right? People who care about the dunya are very, very poor people. People who care about the khushu' and prayer, they care about the racial Allah. These are wealthy people. So you look at them as poor people, right? Feel sad for them. وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال ليس الغنى عن كثرة العرض ولكن الغنى غنى النفس, right? He says wealth is not in possessing many items, rather real wealth is the contentment of the heart. So people might think, oh, it's okay, just be content, right? It's not being content. It's pouring over with happiness because you are wealthy in your heart, right? You are bursting with happiness, right? And it's not something like, oh yeah, just accept the way you are and it's okay, you'll be all right in the akhirah. That's not what it means. It's okay, just like, yeah, you don't have any money, nobody likes you, you have a life that's okay. And that contentment, that's not what it means. Contentment is ghina nafs, your soul is rich and you love Allah and you love your life and it's really, really good because you have a thriving relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال الدنيا سجن المؤمن وجنة الكافر. The dunya, meaning the physical world and meaning that worldly way of thinking, is the prison of the believer. I'm not really interested, right? So let's go shopping. That's not a thing that a believer can say, let's go shopping. Unless, for example, you say, let's show Allah the blessings that He's given us. Okay, it's possible, but generally speaking, shopping, right? The fact that you have some of the biggest malls in the Middle East, that's a degradation of society, right? What the Prophet ﷺ say, أحب البلاد إلى الله مساجدها وأبغض البلاد إلى الله أسواقها. The most beloved of places to Allah are mosques. The most hated of places to Allah are malls. So I don't want to go to them. I hate go to malls. Why am I interested? Dunya is not interesting. I want akhirah. I'm interested in akhirah. So we come together for the akhirah, right? This is al-mutahabbina fi, the people who love each other in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is they come together for they come together as husband and wife, they come together as buddies, they come together as siblings, they come together as a ummah through Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not because they care about the dunya. This is like a prison. I'm not interested in this. It's suffocating talking about the dunya. I want to talk about the akhirah. I want to talk about Allah, right? And for the kafir, this is Jannah, right? This is everything, right? So again, this comes back to that hadith I mentioned. Man tashabbaha biqawmin fahuwa minhum. Whoever mimics people, your life is basically the same as a kafir, but you just cut out certain haram things. That's not Islam. Islam is every single thing in your life that can't translate into an expression of your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, throw it out the window. Throw it out the window. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha, throw it out the window. So there's no God, no hope, no ambition, nothing. Throw it out the window, except Allah. It doesn't say only Allah is Allah. It says no God but Allah. Negative. You've got to throw these things out. Now we have to finish. I think this is the last. No, it's not the last. Yeah, we're gonna have to come next week, inshallah. عن قتادة بن نعمان رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال إذا أحب الله عبدا حماه الدنيا كما يحمي أحدكم سقيمه الماء. This is Qatada ibn Nu'man said, the Prophet said, when Allah loves a servant, He protects him from the world, takes money away from him, takes fame away from him, intelligence away from him, achievements away from him. Just like one of you would protect your sick ones from water, knowing that money is not good for you, as it is for 99% of people. 99% of people who have money, it's a curse for them. 99% of people who have looks, it's a curse for them. 99% of people who have intelligence, it's a curse for them. 99% of people who have power, it is a curse for them. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect me from power, protect me from looks, protect me from fame, protect me from intelligence. I don't understand. Everyone else understands this basic math stuff. I don't get it. I don't understand. Everyone else can memorize stuff quickly. I can't. Everyone else has friends. I don't. Everyone else is popular. I'm not. Everyone else is, uh, they have kids. I don't. Everyone else is married. I'm not. Everyone else is healthy. I'm sick. Everyone else is, I don't know what it is. And it's like, why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is protecting you from something that's going to harm you. It's going to protect you from something that's going to harm you. Right? And it's the expression of His love for you. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala withholds, don't look at the withholding. Look at the one who is withholding. And who is the one who is withholding? He is the same person who is giving to you. He is saying, I'm talking to you. So it's like somebody, it's like a child who is being pulled, and all they see is the rope. You know, there's little things they tie to little kids sometimes to like stop the kid from running away. Right? They see being pulled. They think, no, it's your mum. Right? Your mum is protecting you. All you're seeing is being pulled, but you don't see the one pulling you. This is heedlessness and dunya. May Allah protect us. Let's try and, or inshallah, we'll continue next week. Subhanallah wa bihamdik. Again, so that's. Let's finish with this hadith. It's good. And Fadala ibn Ubayd radiallahu anhu عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال طوبى لمن هدي إلى الإسلام وكان عيشه كفافا وقنع. Says Fadala ibn Ubayd, his Prophet said, glad tidings the one who's guided to Islam. You have Islam? Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Your livelihood is sufficient. That's all you're interested in. Pay off my debts. Pay on a monthly basis. But I haven't bought a house, and I'm gonna have to. You don't need a house. You don't need to get beyond today. Have you paid off your debts? Yes. Do you have what you need today? Yes. That's all you need. Don't worry about it. You don't need any more than that. If you want to make more money for some other Sharia goal, that's fine. I need to build a mosque. I need to build an orphanage. Fine, that's great. Otherwise, do you have enough to provide for yourself and for those you're obliged to support? Yes. Don't worry about it. Everything else is just whatever, extra. You're going to be dead anyway. Don't worry. Right? Whose livelihood is sufficient and who is content? Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, that's all I need. As long as you've got the basics, that's all you need. You don't need more than that. Okay, inshallah, we'll stop there. Subhanallah wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. We'll continue inshallah next week. Inshallah next week will be our last class, inshallah.